for northern people or even investors from all around the world.
Okay, a point here. You said this is the responsibility of the government of South Sudan. Okay, the government of South Sudan was also responsible for the development in the interim period, the 5 years of self-governing. Development also, it was their responsibility. 5 years has passed by and there are no marked results. What makes you think that in the upcoming 5 years there will be a change?
There will be a change because in the interim period of 5 years, there was no independence, there was no sense of independence. Southern people or the government of South Sudan, they felt that they are just a kind of opposition to challenge the North and to get their rights and things like this. And the old slogans from New Sudan and the era of revolution and era of the war was still there. But now I think they feel that they have to shoulder their responsibility to build their country. And this is totally different.
Okay. This brings us to the question of the South-South dialogue. The constitution, the new constitution that should be drafted in the south of Sudan state, I think there was a committee that was assigned to do this task, and the opposition or the opposing southern parties, they were excluded from this.
Yes, you are right. This was very, very negative step done by the President Salva Kiir Mayardit. If I talked about positive things that done by Salva Kiir Mayardit, now I have to talk about this very negative thing that done by the President Salva Kiir Mayardit. He established or he created a committee, and he ignored and the other southern people parties. Okay, none of them participate in this committee, and this committee is very important because the constitution and the process of drafting the new constitution will be based on this committee. I do believe that in this moment, SPLM, they can't ignore DC, which is SPLM DC for democratic change, led by Dr. Lamakola Jawin,
yes.
And they can't ignore Bona Malwal. They can't ignore even the rebellion movements, just like General Ator and Gulwak Guy. They can't ignore those people, and they have to involve southern people in the process of creating and drafting the new constitution. If this not happen, that means the South-South dialogue was just a kind of propaganda to pass the days of the independence, and this is going to lead us to bad memories about the independence of Sudan. Now Salva Kiir Mayardit is the hero. Yes, Salva Kiir Mayardit is the hero of the independence of South. But Ismail al-Azhari was the hero of the independence of Sudan, and he lost his majority in the parliament after 9 months. And the parliament passed a decree for no confidence for the hero of the independence, and he failed after that, and the democracy destroyed after less than 2 years after the independence of Sudan.
So if this situation is not corrected right now, you believe we can witness the same scenario again being repeated in the south?
Yeah, Salva Kiir has just two options: to involve southern people in the process of building the country, so that he's not going to repeat the history. But if he ignores southern people in this process, is going to repeat the history of Ismail al-Azhari. And South Sudan, the situation in South Sudan is totally different from North Sudan. Because in North Sudan there was a peaceful kind of...
there were actually no insurgents, there was no armed movements against the government itself.
It was political parties and civil society.
It was all debate.
Yes, but in South Sudan there will not be kind of no confidence.
Which does strike me as strange. Why haven't the government of South Sudan till now reached an agreement with Ator or Guy? There has been a lot of ceasefire agreements being signed between them, talks of cooling down the process and so on, but then again the situation seems to re-inflame itself over and over again. Why can't the southern government establish a dialogue with these insurgents?
The problem in South Sudan that tribalism is very deep-rooted in South Sudan. And the Dinkas people are the majority of South Sudan. And sometimes they try to take decisions on behalf of Southern people, depending on their automatic majority to take decisions. But this is not going to work, because Northern people and Muslim people in Sudan, they were majority, and they took decision on behalf of all Sudan,
yes.
and now they lost south
of Sudan.
So that maybe if Southern people or Dinkas people rely on their majority, they are going to lose Equatoria and Upper Nile and so on.
Okay, so this brings us also to the fact of the northern sector of the SPLM, the Yasser Arman and the northern sector itself. What's going to be their status after this referendum?
Now, you can't call them the northern sector, because now
they were disavowed.
You have only north. You have just only north. So they will change themselves to a secular party. Maybe the same name of SPLM or similar name, and they will try to promote for secularism
in
North Sudan and to challenge the government.
Do you think that
yes,
this party would land some success?
For me, I think this is the right to express themselves as secular people and to promote for secularism. This is a right. It will be a constitutional right. This is not a problem. But I do believe in the same time that NCP or Islamist people in North Sudan, they are kind of modernized Islamist.
They're not the extreme hardcore
they are not
fanatics.
Extremists. Already they have a very short distance between them and secular people.
Okay, so this brings us now to the issue of the newborn state and its relations with the world and relations with the North and its relation with Israel, of course. I mean, this is also one of the main points that is causing a lot of stir, the relation of the newborn state with Israel. I mean, a couple of days ago, the SPLA, the army itself, received the gift of 9 attack helicopters. So what does this tell you?
Israeli people, they want to maximize their size in the media. And Northern people, they have, I can call it Israelophobia. And they expected that the new state is going to be a part of Israel in no time. All these are not true. Salva Kiir Mayardit and the leadership of Southern people now, they put the interest of Southern people before all things. And they realize that if they invite Israeli people to come in South and to come in Juba and to declare their existence, this is going to attract Qaeda and terrorist people and Shabab al-Mujahideen in Somalia. And the bombs of Kampala exploded, and Juba heard the explosion. I think they are not going to practice any kind of things that is going to attract terrorists.
But that's even more dangerous. I mean, if the relation between them is under the table, okay, and you have a strong enough lobby, it could completely affect the policies of South Sudan itself. So there would be a puppet master and the puppeteer behind it, which is even more dangerous.
Yes, hidden relation of under-table relation of Israeli people. This phenomenon can be existed in even Arab countries. In most of countries in the world, Israeli people, they have relation hidden or declared. This is not a problem, and this is not an issue.
Okay. I'm afraid we run out of time here, but until we meet you again, thank you very much for being with us today, Mr. Mekki. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Yes, you are welcome.
Okay, this has been a presentation of Sudan TV Feedback. Thank you very much for joining us. Until we meet you the next time, stay safe and good night.